the opportunity to bring the very best players from Germany and give them an opportunity to play in the Canadian Football League. And then we talked about the opportunity to create roster spots in Germany so that Canadian kids who maybe aren't quite ready to play in the CFL or maybe will never be ready to play in the CFL, who haven't lost their love of football, can go and play in Germany. And then we had that very same conversation with France, and then we had that very same conversation in Austria, and that very same conversation with Sweden, France, or pardon me, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, and
Russia.
Finland. Thank you. And while all of that was happening, and this conversation all working together was happening, we started having a conversation started having conversations with football federations that we hadn't even called, and they started calling us. Now, how many of you in the room are how many are your fishermen or fisherwomen?
Yep.
Hey, so the best way to fish is when the fish start jumping in the boat. That's the best way to fish, and the countries around the world have started to jump into our boat because they want to be part of what the CFL is building. Folks, this is the curious thing. We went to Mexico for that scouting combine, which was a Sunday, and I'll tell you, they put on a remarkable show. It was so professional, it was so powerful what they were doing, and then on the Monday morning, when we were going to draft the players from Mexico to CFL teams, and our coaches and GMs that were there arrived, and they walked into a room, and we're all to a person overwhelmed by how big an event this was. We were in a room, and at the back was a nest of network cameras, as many cameras as we would have when we do the State of the CFL address at Grey Cup every year. And then when we started the draft, these players, some of them started to cry, because for them, this was the single biggest moment of their lifetime, a chance and the opportunity to come and play in the CFL. And we had 87 million media impressions generated off of that day. Ladies and gentlemen, 87 million? That's a lot of millions.
Big percentage.
Okay? That's a lot of millions.
How many are playing in the CFL?
Well, we're going to
17.
See. We're going to see, and that's where this exercise.
Please, a number.
Well, right now,
17.
Right now, none, because we haven't started the season. But we're going to bring. But we're going to bring. We think 18 players from Europe.
17.
To bring our scouting combine in March.
He said
And
18.
I can promise you,
17.
I can promise you that we will have more national media and international media at our scouting combine in March than we've ever had at a scouting combine before. And here's the thing. Somebody asked me if this was an international strategy, and I said, well, actually, no. It's a national strategy. This is about elevating the sense of who we are as a league. This is about repositioning ourselves, not as the smaller of two, but as the second biggest of 40. This is about the CFL coming out of the back seat and moving into the front seat and taking control of football around the world. This is about perhaps shedding our humble Canadian way and realizing that what we have is perhaps the most amazing game in the world. We have an amazing league, and it is time for this league to emerge, to come out from under what has been a small and humble thing and into the big world of professional sports and take our place amongst the giants and be a giant ourselves. I can tell you that I don't think I could do this job. I don't think I could bring honor to this job if I wasn't thinking about how I can help make the players' lives better by growing this league and making it bigger and stronger and giving them an opportunity for the same kind of income improvement that other leagues have seen when they've gone international.
That's great.
I can't imagine that I could bring honor to this job and do this job the way I want to do it if I'm not thinking about how to make the league bigger and stronger for Coach Chamberlain and all the great coaches and football people in this league.
What about, hey,
I'm not sure that I could do this job the way I want to do it if I'm not helping our owners. This group, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, which is literally the best possible thing that could have happened to the Toronto Argonauts football franchise, is Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. And there is no way that I could do my job for George Cope and Larry Tannenbaum and Edward Rogers and Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, for Bill Manning, for Chris Schufeld, for Jim Pop, for Corey Chamberlain and his staff, and for all the players. If we don't reach for the stars and make this league the biggest, strongest football league possible.
then
Ladies and
why
gentlemen,
is there aspects of having an NFL team?
17!
That's a lot of percent. So what's my point?
NFL.
My point is that I think for a very long time, and I've grown up with this game. So my earliest recollections were being a Don Jonas fan, a Winnipeg Blue Bomber fan, growing up in Winnipeg, wearing sorry. Hey, Don Jonas is a long time ago. Give the guy a break. But I don't think that for any point along my own journey as a fan growing up as a kid, ultimately playing in the league for 9 years, getting a chance to play for the Argonauts, winning a Grey Cup in Edmonton, and being a fan of this league my whole life, I can honestly say I've never felt that this league has reached its full potential. I think it's time to emerge from our small idea of who we were to a much bigger idea, to take a place as the epicenter of international football, welcome players here from around the world, send our players out to the world to play. Just in the last 10 days, we had a request from one of the biggest teams in Europe, the Vienna Vikings, if we would help them find a Canadian quarterback that would go and be the starting quarterback for the Vienna Vikings. Ladies and gentlemen, by a show of hands, how many of you think if you were a 23-year-old Canadian quarterback not playing in the CFL and you got a phone call offering to go to Vienna to be the starting quarterback, how many of you think you would go? Yeah.
That's a pretty big percentage.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, that players that play Canadian college or junior football don't stop loving football if they don't make it on a CFL roster. I think they still love the game, and we want to make more opportunities for those players to play. And ultimately, to do what I'm hoping to do and to honor the